Is there any places that you're going to? Because I know you go to Texas and you go to, you said California as well?
Texas, California, and Iowa right now.
Okay. Is there any other places you're thinking about opening up as well?
I personally don't promote shows outside of the state anymore. I did Texas and California. I run production in Iowa and for Victory Fighting Championships, which is a huge show. And then I run 15 different companies in Texas I run production for. I'm going to do jiu-jitsu tournaments this year in Chicago, Hartford, Florida, and then also staying in Texas and Colorado and Iowa. But it's hard to promote out of state. When you go out of state promoting, it's hard to build rapport. I mean, this whole business is about building rapport. How do I go into kind of just want to have fun. I'd like to have a little more family time this year as I did before I did last year.
Sounds like you need it.
It'd be a little cooler to do that this year. And I'd like to do more rock concerts. I'm Prime Audio and Video, so we do massive lighting, video, sound, cryo blasters, like all that shit. And that's just something we're trying to get into now, as well as, I'd love to get a call from Rise Against and be like, hey, we'd like to have you run our sound or lighting board for the film. I'm waiting to get calls like that. I mean, now I get them, they're like little shitty bands in the Gothic, and I'll fucking do it. I don't care. I just want to get into that market too. So it's not a matter of me for really what we're going to do in the market. It's a matter of what we're going to do outside of the market that will in turn bring people back into our market.
Cool. That's good. I got a question for you. What impacted your life? What made you shift? Obviously, you said losing that wrestling championship and that, or your chance to go, obviously influenced your life. But how did it have a deep impact on you? What I mean by that is, what major events or teachers or people or any of that really impacted your life that made you want to take that ship and dedicate so much time away from your family and stuff like that in order to make a life better for yourself?
Well, it's kind of funny though you phrase it like that, because it's like, doing what I do now, I spend way more time with my family than I did when I worked at 24 Hour Fitness.
Oh, really?
Working at 24 Hour Fitness, that place is like a fucking slave ship. You work like 80 hours a week. I'm in the middle of this huge lawsuit against them now. But anyways, yeah, I'm probably not allowed to talk about it. Who cares? Fuck them. So
right.
They put us, you have to work like 80 hours a week, and it's just a terrible job. And I did it for so fucking long. And so now, I'm home all day, every day. It's just how much time of that being on the computer or on the phone versus playing football with my kids or letting them punch me in the dick. It's just a matter of what they want to do. As events that really impact me, I don't know, man. I've kind of been on my own for a really long time. I had kind of a fucked up childhood. My dad's a total shitbag. And I only have a sister, and she's awesome. My sister's like my mom. She's actually coming out for the Mortal Kombat event. She runs significant events in Texas, and a big event planner in Dallas, so she's going to help me out here. But outside, it was just kind of the two of us. My dad just beat the shit out of us a lot. It was real hard on us when we were kids, and tried to bring us down. We always it was one of those things where it was like, oh, we mope around about it. And we just were like, fuck you, we'll do it ourselves. We always kind of have a chip on our shoulder, like something to prove. I think that chip's kind of been lifted off my shoulder a little bit, but I'm always kind of constantly trying to prove stuff to myself, because I've already proved my dad wrong, But, outside of that, it's just that motivation to be the best that you get from wrestling, football, or, growing up in Texas and just being a part of being Texan, which means being awesome, because Texas is the greatest state in the world. And it's just one of those things where it's just like that, having to constantly push yourself to accept where you're at in life. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. That makes sense. That's very quality.
So is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Say thanks to, anything you want to say? Or is there any subject you want to cover that we haven't covered that you think that needs more air than people ever give it?
Not really, man. I'm not one of those people. I'm not a religious person. I do some stuff with the community with some children's programs, mainly in Texas, helping some kids out and some underprivileged youths. I'd like to see the youth program do something. I just, like I said, there needs to be new blood. We need more fighters. We need more people. We need, you know, we just need more people coming up. So I'd like to see more youth MMA programs and youth Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. But I think, you know, Easton and Colorado and everybody's doing a pretty good job of starting to get that. You know, I mean, I'm not one of those people that's a huge pillar in the community to go to Children's Hospital and stuff like that. You know, it's just not me. But I mean, so a lot of fighters do a lot of stuff, and I think it's cool when the fighters get a lot of recognition for some of the stuff that they do in the community. You know, I try to not really take a lot of focus to myself. It's been kind of hard to get a hold of. I was just kind of trying to push my fighters to do the interviews and fighters to do stuff, because it's really not about us, it's about them, you know. But I think we're about to see a big explosion in Colorado of fighters making it to that next level, to the UFC and the Strike Force and to the bigger promotions. I think we're about to see something special.
A lot of legitimate trainers here, for sure.
In the next 2 years, I think you can expect to see Salas, Cat, you know, Sean Sims, Alan Robinson back in it. A lot of people from Colorado are about to get a lot of media attention nationwide. So I think it's kind of cool that we're about to see that.
I think it'll be positive and productive for the community and for people. And like you said before, you were addressing the issues of having some type of youth program to help people that are disadvantaged, or people that have problems or behavioral problems, or have been beaten their whole lives, or are addicted to drugs.
I don't know if you've heard of what Grudge is doing, the anti-bullying program at Grudge. I mean, it's awesome. They teach an anti-bullying program for kids, and it's not really people. They got some bad press in the news. People were like, you know, these guys are teaching kids to fight. Well, fuck yeah, they should be teaching them to fight. Fucking sucks. How you like it if you were getting picked on when you were 8, 7 years old? I mean, I wasn't one of those kids that got picked on, but I mean, you know what I mean? That sucks, dude.
A lot of the bullies that think it's cool to fight come into an environment like that and learn that it's you know, there's a lot you can learn from fighting.
The program is for the kids that have been picked on,
well,
and they teach them how to defend themselves. But it's more about self-preservation and being
de-elevation.
Just being more confident in yourself and not letting somebody fuck with you. You know, at a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, something I want my kid to learn.
Right.
You know, my 4-year-old does Muay Thai at Oscars because I want him to learn not only good discipline, but I don't want some kid to fuck with him.
Right.
I remember I was at Monkey Business like a couple weeks ago, and this kid was walking around and picking on little kids, some kid with some type of personality disorder. I was just praying that he was going to grab my kid. My kid would have knocked his fucking head off, you know? But I mean, you need that. You need that as a kid, and we need more programs like that. And I'd love to see more parents start taking children away from Taekwondo and you know, traditional gay martial arts, and start bringing them into Jiu-Jitsu. Start bringing them into, you know, kickboxing. Start doing stuff that's actual, that's going to work for them. That's not going to keep them playing Dungeons and Dragons till they're 17.
Right. Well, I guess the point I was trying to make was that for the bully that walks into the environment where he's no longer the bully, and any fighting outside of that is going to get him kicked out of his peer group.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big deterrent for the kid that thinks it's okay to bully.
I remember the coolest thing my dad ever did for me when I was a little kid. This kid kept fucking with me at school. They made fun of me a lot because I did judo when I was a kid. So it was like during the Karate Kid time, you know. They were making fun of me, Karate Kid, you tough, you're a Karate Kid. I just wanted to play football and baseball, and I played like a million sports when I was a kid. I remember he was kicking me in the fucking legs, kicking me. I was like, dude, you need to chill out, you need to stop. And I was like 8, telling him to stop. So I grabbed him by his head and I threw him right on his head, right? And I got suspended from school for a week, and my dad took me to go get ice cream.
Yeah.
It was like my most fond memory with my dad. You know, we used to talk about it all the time. It was like, that was cool, man, because it was like I was just defending myself. I was tired of the kid's shit, and I picked him up and I threw him on his skull.
There you go.
Right. Right on, man.
That's funny. Have you ever had any experience in military or law enforcement applications by any chance?
The only thing I've had experience is working with the military. I have a contract with MCCS. We put on shows at 29 Palms Marine Base. Outside of that, my family, my brother-in-law is 101st Airborne. He's awesome. Killed a bunch of people in Iraq, so he says. I don't know if he's man enough to kill people, but he says he did. Outside of that, not really. Marines have been a sponsor of ours for a few years, though. Big supporter of them. Don't love cops, you know. Most people don't. But It's funny though, you say that, but I take that back. I train with a lot of cops. A lot of cops are actually really, really chill dudes.
They're just regular people.
Yeah, they get a bad rap
I just
from all
hate
the other
getting
ones.
speeding tickets, dude.
Yeah.
I have like 2 points left on my license.
Oh, man.
So that's the only
really?
thing I hate about cops. For the most part, cops are actually pretty chill. But we actually have like 30 of them or so that are students with us. We like to give them shit a lot.
Yeah.
You know, but they deserve it.
Yeah, they earned it.
You know, they earned it. They earned the ability to pull me over and ruin my life whenever they want. So we get to make fun of them.
You said earlier that you didn't have any religious convictions, and we usually don't cover any type of theological issues like that. But is there any type of particular philosophies or psychologies or
No, you know, it's kind of
sociologies that
funny.
you study?
The reason I say that is just because most fighters are always, you know, praise to God, do this to God, which is cool. It's fine. It's just you hear it all the time, and I think a lot of it's fake and a lot of it's a facade, and you see what happens. I just, you know, I mean, I'm just saying that God is just not one of the things that like motivates me, you know. I think the whole basic premise of, you know, do unto others, I think is probably the best way to live your life. And karma, you know, just try to do the right thing. It's fucking hard to do the right thing in this world, you know.
So is there any particular philosopher or anybody that you've read, or psychologist or sociologist, or anything that you've read or that's influenced you or helped you solve some of your life problems?
To be honest, not really. Like I said, man, just, you know, outside of like the Black Panthers, like I'm serious. Like, those are really the only people that I really read a lot about. I'm not a big reader. I like Che Guevara a lot, you know, fuck some shit up. But I don't read a lot. I don't really know too much about any religions or anything like that. I read like the first 30 pages of the Bible, and I thought like old vengeful God was pretty rad, like Sodom and Gomorrah. It's just like fuck all of you, boom, fire, brimstone, starting over. I thought that was kind of funny, but outside of that, I really don't know anything about philosophy or anything. I do think the world's going to end December 21st, 2012. 2012. I believe the Mayan calendar, and it's actually something that worries me.
Are you going to try to throw a fight on that day?
No.
No?
I will be in a shelter that my friend has created in Sedalia, and we will be selling tickets for you to be able to get into the shelter. I'm not kidding.
I hear you.
That's where a lot of the money that we make goes towards the shelter for when it happens. We're going to be ready. We're going to make it.
That's actually pretty cool. With biologicals and aliens.
That's Chris,
and
by the way.
else.
Chris is a good philosopher. Chris has good poems that he likes to write all the time. Christopher David.
Okay, I think that's about it. Is there anything last things that you would like to say, or anything you want to cover?
No, I'd like to thank the Path of Most Resistance for letting us do the interview here, and people should come check it out. Mid-March when we do the grand opening here. It's going to be awesome. Hookers, fire trucks, all kinds of explosions. It's going to be awesome.
All right, cool. All right, well, thank you, Seth, for your time.
No problem.
And we really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks, guys.